So, funny thing, I got that last text message and decided I'd better check to make sure it was anything important. So I'm going to have to pause the video. It already shut off. So I'd shot that, and it took me a minute to get onto the computer, and so I could figure out where I was.
Yep, just doing it like we do.
So let's get back to pulling out this cool stuff from the box. Alright, so next up, what do we have? We have Copperhead. Alright, Copperhead's a mean son of a gun. It's one of Cobra's mercenaries. He came with the water moccasin back in the day. This version actually came in a comic pack, but when they released the water moccasin, it came with a different colored version of him, or the Swamp Viper. I can't remember. But anywho, I think I've already got Copperhead, so this might be a good trade fodder. Alright, next up we've got... we have Torch. Ripper, one of the Dreadnoks. Funny story about the Dreadnoks. Zartan has a gang, and they're called the Dreadnoks, and there was Ripper, Buzzer, and Torch, and this is Ripper. And Buzzer had a chainsaw, and Torch had a flamethrower. And in 1985, I changed the way we celebrated Christmas because of this. Normally we would open up one gift on Christmas Eve, and then Christmas morning you open up everything. Well, that night I opened up, I want to say Buzzer first, and then I was like, well, I want to open the other two now. And so then my sister got to open 3 things, and then from then on it was downhill to the point where I think we just opened everything on Christmas Eve, and then got your one big gift on Christmas Day. So Ripper, I do have him, so he's going to be trade fodder as well. Next up is another one of those strange body designs they did. This is Switchgears, I think his name is, and he's from the, looks like, I think this is Spy Troops was the name of this series. Yeah, Spy Troops. And their gimmick was you could have a Joe figure, and through a little cosmetic attachments here and there, you put this breastplate on, put the helmet on, cover up his hand with this cybernetic weapon arm, and now he is going to pass himself off as Overkill, the Battle Android Trooper Commander. So I mean, I guess that worked for that aesthetic. It's great for kids, but for collectors, it's a weird aesthetic. But it's one of those that I'm sure it has its diehard fans, and I'm not knocking it. It's just different. And so he's going to be a cool display piece, possible trade fodder, but we'll say he's going to be on display first before we look at that. Here we go. Now we've got somebody cool that I needed. This is Ace. He's the Sky Striker pilot, the G.I. Joe's first jet that came out. I think it was '83, based on the F-14 Tomcat, and they did an updated version of it in the 30th anniversary series. That was a couple of years ago. And it came with Ace, but a much more realistic looking version. This is more based on his comic and toy appearance. So that's very cool. Got Ace. Next up is... now this is the strangest, one of the strangest body types that they used. This line was, I think this is from Joe versus Cobra, and if you'll notice, like, their legs, they don't have any, they have a rotation, but they don't have any of the normal articulation that Joe does. They do have it in the arms, but they've got a rotating waist, and then like a original Star Wars Kenner type articulation at the hip. They do have knee joints though. This was very cartoonish, a very strange line. They were made out of like a soft plastic, and if you didn't know your Joe history, and you came across this in a flea market, you might just think it was some like a dollar store figure, or like a Chat May figure, or just some generic military figure. You wouldn't consider this G.I. Joe, but it is. This is, I believe, Heavy Duty, who kind of took the place of Roadblock for a long time in that continuity. They didn't have the Roadblock name. So this is interesting. I might be stumped here, ladies and gentlemen. Is this it? No, it's G.I. Joe. It does say 1997 Hasbro. 1997. That doesn't look like one of those 97 figures. Well, this is a strange figure indeed. And now he's made out of that plastic that the Toys R Us, some of the Toys R Us exclusives they released during the dry period between the end of American Hero and the beginning of Joe vs. Cobra. They had this really cheap plastic. This isn't quite that bad. I'm not even sure who this is. He's got strange glasses and a weird mustache. Almost like a Peter Sellers trying to impersonate an Asian. I'm not sure who this is. And anywho, I'm going to do some research on this guy. I'm not sure who he is. Alright, next up is, dig down here in the box, and we've got, we have another one of those weird, I guess Joe versus Cobra figures. And I'll pull out his weapon here to show you. Again, a waist swivel. Just this tiny head, these giant arms. The biceps and the shoulder joints are so huge on these guys. The thing is, they do have a little bit of nostalgia for me because I was collecting Joes at the time, and I did buy some of these guys. They had this weird sound attack. Their weapons would have these big plugs that would go into their vehicles. The vehicles had sound. You plug this into the port, and it would alter the sound that the toy made. I think I've got 2 or 3 of them upstairs in the attic from that line. But this was a figure they called Claws, C-L-A-W-S, and I think that was an anagram of some kind. I don't remember what it stands for. This was another one of Cobra. It was like a Cobra Trooper. So cartoony, like he's doing this kind of expression, but the metal face mask is mimicking that expression. So definitely a more child-oriented line, not oriented towards the collectors. Let's see. Next up, what do we have? Hey, a gold Destro. I don't have to open that one now. The Iron Grenadiers, excuse me. Let me pull him out because his cape is over his head. Yeah, so that's cool. So here's Iron Grenadier Destro, and like I said, he branched off at one point and started doing his own thing, and they had a whole sub-series. It was Joe's had what they called Battle Force 2000, and that was supposed to be like a super advanced prototype team that had like 6 vehicles, and the vehicles weren't really Transformers, but they more like came apart and became other vehicles, like you could rebuild it into a base. They were pretty cool. So the Destro's Iron Grenadiers, they went up against Battle Force 2000. Alright, next up we have, cool, so we have the Destro from that weird time in the early 2000s, sound attack and all that. And I don't know if this is going to focus on that face or not. Probably not. But this Destro's face he's like, and it's weird. And it's only, like his human ears show, or I shouldn't say human, Destro's not an alien, but like his ears show. There's weird parts of the flesh. The back of his head from like here down is flesh colored. I don't know if I ever had this version or not. I had a version of this Destro. I think I had a couple. This must have come with a vehicle or just been some random re-release. He's got some interesting purple highlights, metallic purple highlights on him. I'll be able to use that. Oh, cool! See, I'll be able to complete my vintage Firefly, because this Joker comes with a Firefly phone. So that's a bonus. And Firefly's gun, so even though it's not in the right color, I'll at least have the proper weapons for my weaponless Firefly. So, there's a little bit of gold in every stone. What else we got? Next is another one of the strange figures. It's not, I don't think, this was a sound attack. This is Ripper. This is actually, believe it or not, well, just to show you how far they had strayed from their own universe. And I understand they were creating a whole new line, this is the same character. This is based on the original 1985 Dreadnought Ripper, and this is the, what year were these guys? I know it's written on them somewhere. 2002, the 2002 version of Ripper, and it's a it's a good update to the figure. I'm not a fan of this body type. If the colors had been closer to, like if he had blue pants and this green shirt, they might have even made a version of him that was closer to these colors, but that definitely would have been a win. But let's see, what does he come with? Sound attack weapon. Alright, moving on. Another bag figure, and this is, oh lordy, lordy, lordy. This is another one of those weird figure types. They did this for Snake Eyes, and they did this for Storm Shadow, and they did this for Duke. And it is this cheesy feature. There's a button on his back that makes him do this. So what you can do is you can set up a little scenario where he comes up. Did you find everything you were looking for, sir? Let me just scan your items. Beep, beep, beep. I mean, I guess that's what that action's for. Was that even, did you even see it on the camera? Did you find everything, sir? Beep, beep, beep. Anyway, lame jokes. You get more if you pay for them. Here's Stalker. This is that strange sound attack era. Although fail. It is a sound attack gun. This is Stalker, the same very realistic looking Green Beret I showed you in packaging earlier. This is the 2002 version. And while his face looks like Keith David? I can't remember the actor's name, but he looks very familiar. Anyway, so that's one of those weird figures. And then here is, looks like, no, we got a couple more down there. I was going to say this might be the last one. This might be fitting for the last one. You know what? Let's just pretend that is the last one. What do we got next? How many more do we have? We have two more down here. Let's see. And one of them is Cobra Commander. It is a helmeted Cobra Commander. He comes with this strange... actually, this is weird because his helmet comes off. Oh, he's got his gun. That's cool. And then he has this small beaker test tube thing that mimics something from the original animated series. He had rocker ankles. That's cool. That's pretty cool. His head's kind of shrunk down to his shoulders, but that's a pretty cool Cobra Commander. I know I had a million of these, so it's not like I haven't seen it before. But that's just it's cool. And here we go. Here we go. A strange version of the Destro. Weirdly painted. I think this is based on what they call the comic appearance. If I hadn't already swapped chrome heads, then I would swap this chrome head for the flat chrome head of my Destro that I have open, but I've already done that. So I don't know what to do with this cat. But I am realizing now, ironically enough, it's kind of interesting that I'm finding the same color cues on this Destro. There's blue and like a hint of purple. That's pretty crazy. Huh. Well, what do you know? They might be cousins, identical cousins, and you'll find. So there's a weird Destro, and here's another weird Destro. So the last bag figure here's one more bag figure. Hey, it's that Wild Bill. Cool. Now I don't have to open him. And you can see what I mean by him having such a tiny head. Maybe it doesn't look that bad. Maybe it does. It looks bad. He has a small head. But if you put his cowboy hat on there, you won't even notice. Maybe you will, but it looks a lot better. See? It looks a little better. So yeah, that's cool. That is really cool. I'll be able to display him without having to open that one, and that's always a plus. So let's go ahead and stick him back in his baggie. Are you ready to put him back in his own baggie? And last but not least is Duke. Another version of Duke. This one has a pretty interesting... he comes with a cool jetpack and everything. But oh, hey. What? Well, alright. He has a regular face. I could have swore this one had a face where he's like, ah, because he's supposed to be doing like a yo, Joe kind of pose. But this one has a normal face. He got a normal face. Ooh. Anyway, so the last bagged figure is Duke. I think this was a carded figure. It's cool because he came with the flag. I wish that the Duke always came with this accessory. I think excuse me. Gung Ho came with one back in the day, the Battle Core version. Yeah, see, that's cool. And then you stand your figure on there. Alright, so that's enough of that. So let's move on to the final item in the box. And I think you're going to like what you see. Blank cardboard. That's a joke. There's more blank cardboard, and then there's paper. Lots of paper. Lots of paper. Lots of paper. Lots of paper. And we're pulling out more paper. But that's okay because what's down here needs to be cushioned. Alright. Alright. Yes, I understand, kitty cat. Strange, I'm digging. Here we go. Let's lift up this heavy. Whoops. This monster is the G.I. Joe Patriot Grizzly Battle Tank. And this is one of those oddities from was this Sound Attack or Spy Troops? Or maybe Joe versus Cobra, I don't know. This attaches like this. Booyah. Let's see, does he have his rockets? He does have his rockets. Awesome. Okay. And, bitchin'. The only thing that's kind of messed up is the front gun is rounded. And, not rounded. The front gun is made of a soft, plasticky rubber, and it's kind of bent. Alright, so here's the radar dish. Or does it plug in over here? It plugs in here. Alright. And there's your radar dish. Look at this beast. I mean, can you believe the size of this thing? I mean, this is pretty darn big. It's battery operated, of course. Oh, and it works. Huh. Whoa. And then it has this handle that comes out, and I'm not sure if the feature's working or not. Let's see. It is. I'm trying to hit. Nope. Jammed up or something. Anyway, it automatically fires those rockets out. That's pretty cool. And you use this to turn the turret. Whoa, I hit my ceramic Pac-Man. That's funny. Anywho, so that's pretty cool. I gotta figure out how to turn it off. Alright, and then it's got these little guns. You got storage. All kinds of cool stuff on this beast. The thing that's not really cool is, and I'm not saying it, I shouldn't say it like that. It's missing. There was a hatch cover for this and an antenna that weren't in the bag with the radar and these parts. So possibly it's still in there somewhere. So let's scoot these guys over, and real quick I'm gonna dumpster dive back into this box just to see if there's any more baggies. I don't see any more baggies. That's okay, because I can buy those parts, find those parts. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. Still a monster machine, and doesn't suffer aesthetically at all from the missing pieces. So, that's a plus. Well, there you go, guys. That was a look at the big box. I know it took me a long time to get to it, and this wasn't exactly the quality of video I wanted to do, but a lot of roadblocks, no pun intended, got in my way, and I got you what I got you. Well, so now all I've got to do is organize all this stuff and open the ones that I'm going to keep and put the ones that I'm going to display later on, carded, into a tote for now, until I get, what I want to do is get a piece of pegboard and display them as if they were in a store. So, I think that pretty much wraps it up for this video. Tomorrow I will be putting up videos for the Transformers that I got yesterday in Evansville, the Combiner Headmaster figures, and the Galvatron from Titans Return. And I'll tell you, the Headmaster figures are awesome. They really are cool. Except the head on my hard head, it's kind of loose and floppy. But, you know, he keeps wanting to look up. Maybe he's waiting for something. Or maybe he's trying to tell me something. Osquionoxo!